Good evening, everyone. So glad to see y'all tonight for another segment of What I See on our feed. Anything that relates to Black women's experiences. This time we have a special guest with us, Ashley, who went viral on TikTok because she said that she wasn't going on a coffee date and that she'd come McAllister. So I wanted to bring her on to talk about just the whole viral thing, like how you felt. Did you even know if it was going to blow up? And then like the response and like the backlash that you got from it. And yeah, so welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. I
You are
appreciate it.
you are so welcome. So I do have the video because I felt like, if some people haven't seen it, because we're on YouTube. This is on TikTok, but I was going
Right.
to put the video. So,
Girl, it's been on YouTube. I've seen I'm literally scrolling YouTube like I normally do, and I see my face in
oh
people's
my
thumbnail, and I'm like, oh, not me being in the thumbnail.
Okay, period, right? Well, we're going to play it for the listeners or the viewers so then they can kind of, get some background. And then we're going to just jump right into the conversation. So let me bring up the video and let's watch it. Let's see
He
how you
asked me for
feel about
coffee
it.
today after work, and I politely told him no, and then brought myself to McAllister's, where I got this croissant, this grilled chicken sandwich, and an entire bowl of broccoli cheddar soup and a Dr. Pepper for under $25. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about how you like to date, just like I don't want you to argue with me about how I like to date. But coffee is never going to be an option for me. And just like I respect your choice to coffee, respect mine to not coffee.
I was so weak at that. It's like you told them not to argue. You don't want coffee. So why are y'all in the comments?
The
Like
instructions were clear, but
literally,
we are in a literacy crisis,
oh,
so
we sure are, baby. They can't read, they don't listen, child. So I wanted to know, like, when you made that literally 30 seconds in viral and it like changed your life, but like, what were you thinking when you put it out there? Like, what made you even record the video?
what made me record the video was I was thinking to myself, like, before I agree to do something that I don't want to do, I will take myself out. And it
Period.
was really just like, and like, I can take myself out and have a grand time for under
Mm-hmm.
$25 and be happy with my decision. I, it was one of those like, no, I don't want to go for coffee. I'm not gonna go for coffee. And
Mm-hmm.
instead, I'm just gonna go do what I want to do. And that was really the end of it. And I had recorded that maybe like a week and a half or 2 weeks before I even posted it. And I think it was a Friday. I posted it at night. I was in my bed, like I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And at this point, I was already monetized on TikTok. I already had like 13,000 followers, almost 14.
Oh, okay.
Um, and I go through these periods where I'm really consistent and then I get bored with TikTok and I don't post. And then I'm really
Mhm.
consistent and then I get bored. This was a time where I was trying to be consistent again. And
Mhm.
so I was like, let me just go ahead and like post this because I have been thinking about dating a lot for myself and all this other kind of stuff. And I was like, let me just go ahead and post it, throw something in the algorithm so that like it'll show that I'm posting so that
Mhm.
like eventually it'll start showing it to my followers. I thought it was going to show it to the same 300 so people it always shows it to. When I woke up on Saturday, I think it had about 20,000 views. And I was like, okay, it'll probably stop somewhere around 40,000
Mhm.
views. And then I had stuff to do that Saturday. So I was like doing stuff. It wasn't until I got home later on that evening where I was like, y'all still going for real? And then it kept going. And I was like, oh. And then by Saturday night, Sunday morning, I knew it had made it to the wrong side of TikTok because of the amount of men that were commenting. I said, oh, I'm
No.
gonna be in a hellscape for the next few days, but that's okay. I think the women responding, um, the way Yuck Mouse and then Bald Head, the way they responded, I think is
Mhm.
what got the women involved, which changed the algorithm it was on. But I think what made it kept going viral were the clapbacks.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's crazy that you posted on Friday night because really you be like people go out on Friday nights like people aren't on TikTok, but nowadays like it's whenever it is like it just goes and it just keeps going. So that's good. So first of all, congratulations because that video did so good. I was cracking up. I don't know when I seen it. I feel like I seen it like a couple days later, but I was literally cracking up. But I'm like, I feel my girl. I don't want to go on no coffee date. I don't even
Thank
drink
you.
coffee. Like what? What are we talking about?
And if
Um,
and if we're keeping it real, I think that is like my fourth most viewed video. So it's not even my most viral video
oh.
on TikTok. It just so happened to be the most viral across social media platforms. And I've learned that there's two different types of virality because I've gone viral on TikTok before. I've never gone viral across platforms. And I've
Oh,
realized
YouTube and
it's two
Instagram.
different types of viral.
Yes, yes. So, what made you clap back?
Uh, Listen, you're not going to talk to me crazy in
Hmm.
real life or on the internet. And I just feel like a lot of people were audacious having something to say. And like, we see you,
Yeah.
like, we see each other. So,
Hmm.
like, if you expect me to be humble, so should you. And just like you think you can get on the internet and say anything to anybody, anybody can respond. And I just felt like, I mean, I cleaned it up because I have an employer, so I'm mindful of the things that I say on the internet. But if I didn't have a job, y'all think the clapbacks is funny now.
Oh,
It
baby.
would have been 10 times more lethal because I wouldn't have been worried about having to get called into my boss's office like, what is this?
Did
Um,
you had
and
a file?
so like you're just not gonna talk to me crazy. And I think with the internet, people get really comfortable typing on the other side of the screen, not thinking about how A, it's going to affect the other person, and B, if it's going to have a response or any type of repercussions. But I'm here to let you know that there can be and there will be on this page.
Yes, and the men is just like literally audacity. Like, where are you coming from? Did your employer know like that your video went viral?
No,
Okay,
um, I don't let people at work know that I have a social media presence.
mm.
Like my mother's blocked. Like I gave her one chance. She was up in the comments, blocked. My sisters and them know, don't be in the comments arguing with people. My friends in real life were like texting me like, "Oh, please go off on her. Please say this. Please say that." Because they was like, "I want to argue, but you're gonna block me, so I'm not gonna do it." I said, "You're right. I run a tight ship over here.
Okay,
I do not like people in my real life interfering with the online stuff. But should my boss ever find out,
you're just like it
we'll
is what
see.
it is. You don't let your friends clap back for you in the comments.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because there was one situation that I had with a I'm can I say names? I'm not afraid to say names. If I tell a story, I'm saying names.
Oh yeah, you can say names. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So there was a video that I made about Speedy. I don't know if you
Oh, Speedy Moore, the interviewer.
yes.
Hmm.
And I don't really follow him. I just see the clips. And so I engaged with him in a way that I thought was how he engages with his audience. Basically, he posted a video with some red nails, and people wanted to know who he was potentially dating. And, I'm an investigator. So I did some investigation, and 1+1 is 2, and 2+2 is 4.
Hmm.
I believe I found the young lady. Anyway, I made a video about it because I thought it was part of the bit. I thought when he tells people to like crop themselves in
Mm.
photos with him to pretend like they're his girlfriend, I thought this was like a no. I thought when I posted, he was gonna be like, no, that's just my homegirl. She make music. Go support her music. We was all here supporting my homeboy. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, that video started going viral. He was in the comments, and his some of his female friends were in the comments, and he made a video. He made responded to a comment about how this isn't, I need to be in a mental institution or whatever. And I was like, that's what we're not going to do. And so some of his female friends started doxing me. So I made a response video to that saying, I need to be in a mental institution, but you take photos like this so girls can crop themselves into it to pretend like they're your girlfriend. I thought this was part of the bit, but my intentions were not ill. So if you want me to take the video down, I'll be more than happy to like take the video down. So him and I hopped in the DMs. We had a conversation. He asked me to remove the video. I removed the video, and it at this point had been up for less than 24 hours and already had almost 250,000 views. It probably would have been my most viral video had I not removed it. Um, and so at that time, when his friends were trying to dox me, some of my friends in my real life were in the comments trying to argue with those people. And that's
Mhm.
when I was like, full stop, no, because I can get doxxed. I choose to be online. Y'all don't. So stop arguing with people because I don't want y'all to get doxxed. And that's when I went a blanket, absolutely not. Don't do that. So that's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that's what I'm saying. When people take it to the next level, like, why are we doxing people over people? I mean, them are his friends or whatever, but like, why are you going so hard to dox people's like livelihood? Just because she did, or because you did a video about something, it's not like you wished ill on him or anything. Like, it's like sometimes people take it to the extreme on social media, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just like, it's so crazy to me. Like,
Right.
why are we doxing where people live at? Like, in this time of day, and the friends, they're probably black women too. So it's just like, why are we blacks?
They were.
Why are we doxing black women in the year 2025? Like, what's really going on?
And
But
I
I,
was like, hey, you know, we live in Kentucky. So, like,
okay.
baby, try it if you want to.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I understand, like, to basically protect your friends and family, you're like, don't be in the comments. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's crazy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so speaking of that, within the comments, do you have any favorite clapbacks that you did that you remember?
Um, you know, I think the Planet Fitness one was some of my best work.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and you know, sometimes stuff just pops into, like, not even sometimes, it just pops into my head. I don't really be thinking.
Mhm.
Um, I low key thought about removing the one to the lady with the 4 kids.
Mhm.
Um, because my intention was to be petty, you know, but again, I didn't think that that video was going to get a lot of views either. And once I started seeing all the views and all the comments, I was feeling bad for her. But then I was like, F it, because who was feeling bad for me? So I
Nobody.
left it up.
Yeah.
But I thought that that was a pretty good. The comments on that one was really,
Mhm.
that was a real key. And then homie with the green carpet, that was another one that flabbergasted me. Like, you wouldn't even have the privilege to know my name, let alone even think you would even have the option to even offer me a cup of ice. You couldn't even come to my house as my Uber driver. So I don't know what makes you feel like you can comment anything, especially when you live in squalor. Now, I don't like to talk about people's living conditions and all that, because I understand, you know, everybody doing different things. But when you are as audacious as he was, calling me a linebacker, you need to make sure all your ducks are in the row, and you had none.
None of
You
them.
had none.
And it was so funny to me because I'm like, as much as like black men want to try to humble black women, like, black women can humble you so quickly. And it's just like, why are we out here talking like that? Like, literally humble. Like, he was like, you look like this in your profile picture. Like, you do this, you this. And then for the black woman to come, I was cracking up because like, I was watching the clap back. You would be like, and what have a coffee date got you? And what has a coffee date got you? And I'm just so, because it's just like, literally, like, when did we have to come to, like, we have to accept a coffee date? I just feel like in dating now, like, it's just like you're supposed to expect the bare minimum, like, oh, at least someone asked you. And it's just like, no, we have
Mhm.
the right to say no. Like, we don't want to go there. We don't want to have that experience. We don't want to go and drink coffee. No.
Mhm.
I'm just like, that's the dating content is kind of, it's like sometimes you want to do it for fun, like me, but then it's just like sometimes it gets too crazy, and people are just saying like way too much stuff that is not, like, it's not even
Mhm.
serious. So
Mhm. And mind you, I don't even drink coffee. And then people are like, coffee shops have more than just coffee. Oh, my light went out. Has more than just coffee, woo woo, blah blah blah, right? And I was like, what kind of coffee shops are y'all going to that A is open after work and B has all this stuff? Like, let me know, because I've never seen it.
literally, let's talk about, I'm like, why are we so pressed on coffee days? Literally, coffee places close at 7 o'clock, not, if not 5. Are we doing the date on the weekend? And then if we're going on the weekend and why can't we go to brunch? Why do we have to go get a coffee?
I'm
Like,
trying to plug the light in so it can.
oh yeah, I was like, it came back. I don't know what happened.
I'm sorry, but keep going.
Oh no, I was just like, I was like, came back, but I'm like, coffee. How you were saying, like coffee shops, they close at 7, they close at 5 after work, and if
A
we're
lot
going,
of the ones here close at 3.
yeah, and then if we're going to go on the weekend, why don't we just go to brunch? Why are we going to drink some coffee? And
Right.
then I'm just like, this is the real reason. This is the real reason is y'all want to take people out to coffee because y'all don't know how to answer the phones. If you call people and you vet people, that's really the issue. If you call and vet people, you're going to know if you want to talk to them some more. That's the whole point. Like, I feel like that's what's
Yeah,
lacking in
what
the
is that?
dating industry. In the dating, I said industry, the dating scene. Y'all don't want to pick up the phone and call people, and then y'all get
Mm-hmm.
mad because we don't want to accept ice cream or coffee. Like, oh, that's how you get to know somebody. No, I can get to know you on the phone.
Right. In the comfort of my home while I'm doing a lot of different things. And I feel like people are skipping that step because for me, I need to know your worth even leaving my house. I need to know that I enjoy your conversation. I need to know that our basic values are aligned. I need to know that what you and I are looking for are similar and you're not looking for something that I'm not willing to give. And people skip all of those steps, which is why they want to go for the coffee dates because that's when they're having that conversation. And I want those conversations before I even put in the effort of getting dressed and leaving my house because I could be making plans with my friends. I could be making plans with myself. I could be on a trip. I could go home to California. I could be doing 50, 11 other things than meeting up and going out with somebody that I don't even know if I enjoy their conversation. And I feel like people are really, I think that's the fundamental difference between people who do want coffee dates versus people who don't want coffee dates. There are also some people saying that you can easily leave a coffee date. Baby, if I'm at a restaurant and I want to leave because he's getting on my nerves, I'm leaving. And I think those are like personality differences, maybe in
Mhm.
terms of how you navigate people and how you navigate dating. But we could be in the middle of a Ferris wheel. If I want to be done, I'm gonna be done. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so yeah,
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's so hard to do. And it's like, you want people to expect the bare minimum, like, oh, yeah, you can go on a coffee date. Like, oh, yeah, you can go on ice cream. It's like, no, I don't want that. Like, am I dating you? And then, oh, you can go to the park. I don't want something so intimate. Like, I don't know you. I'm meeting you for the first time. And that's another thing. I feel like people don't know how to communicate. They clearly don't critically think because it's just like, no, if you knew how to have a conversation, if you knew how to pick up the phone and call, we wouldn't be talking about coffee dates. We wouldn't even talking about, oh, we need to go and just like fill a person out. No, that's why you have a phone, to fill somebody out. That's why you know how
hmm
to text and fill people out. You don't have to go to a coffee shop to fill someone out. And so I just feel like with the dating scene or whatever they're talking, it's just like all these people are saying this and they're just like, oh, be glad that you got a date, or be glad, or you should like, it's like you should accept bare minimum because like people aren't dating anymore.
yes. And I'm like, y'all telling yourselves so easily just because you would be grateful for crumbs and you would be grateful for scraps doesn't mean that everybody else has to accept anything that is offered to them. Like I said, like y'all want me to accept the crumbs when I have the loaf, and people forget that some of us, our parents gave us the bakery. So like you really gonna
Okay.
have to come correct because like if I grew up with a bakery and now I make my own loaves,
You need to come with a factory.
what do I need with 2 week old stale bread?
Okay.
Like
You
and this, and I'm sounding a lot more pretentious than I normally do. Because I'm low key a really a down to earth person. But when it comes to this topic and this situation, I was about to curse twice.
these people.
I don't know how to say what I want to say without cursing, but they got me messed up.
Yes, it's just like literally like the bakery, like literally like I need the factory. And so I feel like so much on TikTok, like and Instagram, like they like black men be wanting black women to suffer. And that's why I don't prescribe to the black love. I need a black man for real, because they want you to suffer. They want you to go through hoops and stuff just to have a date. But then they'll sit there and call Russell Wilson corny for being a stepmom to Sierra. Well,
Listen,
so it's just like, what do
and
we?
and I'm gonna give you an exclusive. We keep it a buck. I've
Uh-huh,
never said that man was black.
you
So
didn't.
many of people assumed that that man was black and that man was white.
Oh my gosh.
And so that was another thing that was fascinating to this. Y'all are defending a black man
Uh-huh.
that literally does not exist.
Like the people in the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, the people who were making videos, people like, because if they were adding my name in their video, now the main ones that went viral, they didn't add me, which is part of the reason why I didn't respond to them, because if you add me,
Mm-hmm.
anyway. But some of the ones who were making videos, literally their response like, y'all be embarrassing black men be doing this, black men just trying. I'm like, what black men are we talking about? Because the man was white.
The black men that they
But
put in
I
their
didn't say nothing. I wanted him to, because I think that was also part of the vitriol, is that they believed that they were defending black men's honor. They believed that there was this black man who was desperate enough to want to take me for coffee, and you had the nerve, the audacity, the gumption, the gall to get on here and embarrass him. Mind you, they know nothing about this man other than the fact that he lives in Kentucky.
Yeah. And then just think about it. If you did say he was white, what, like, it would be so, the comments would be so much different. It'd be so different.
I think the vitriol probably would have been similar. It just would have been a lot more anti-blackness.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I meant by
Mhm.
like different. Like the black men they would have been like, oh, she was trying to be with a white man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they would have
Yeah,
kind
like that's what you get. You a bedouin. Yeah, it would have been a whole
of
another thing. And I was like, I'm just gonna let this play out to see, how long, whatever. The only people that knew he was white were the people in my real life.
yeah, oh yeah. That is crazy. But yeah, so it's like you're defending a man that you don't even know. Literally. Don't
That
even know.
part.
Like that's, and y'all, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't prescribe to that. Y'all have so much loyalty to someone who's not even, well, in general, so much loyalty to a black person who ain't do nothing. And the whole time she ain't even talking about a black man.
Right.
So it's just like, what are we doing here? Like,
And
what
you
are we?
know another thing I noticed? Across these conversations about looks and attractiveness and stuff like that, right? Black men talk about, we want natural women who ain't wearing all that weave, who ain't wearing all them lashes and woo woo, blah 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 blah, right? You know how many comments from men talked about my looks in terms of how my hair wasn't done? I literally just got my hair braided the day before. My nails wasn't done. Before I went to McAllister's, I was at the nail shop next door to McAllister's and walked down. My nails were still wet. In fact, and how I wasn't dressed up, I wasn't wearing no makeup. I said, do y'all want natural women or not? Because I had a natural style in. I didn't have on any lashes. I wasn't wearing any makeup. I had just got a fresh manicure. There was no acrylics. I'm not an acrylic girly. But like, y'all be contradicting yourselves, because when y'all see someone natural, you have all these expectations on how I should have done myself up and how I should have looked better. But if I was looking the way you thought that I should have looked, you would have said, that's the problem with black women now. Y'all need to take the weaves off. Y'all need to take the lashes off. They don't, they just be saying stuff to contradict themselves. They don't really know what I
All
want. But I found that very fascinating that men were so deep in women's business that they
talk
were talking about me not having my nails done.
and
And I'm like, I have a fresh manicure. What are you talking about? Which lets me know they mean acrylic. They mean,
they, yeah,
yeah.
they want these.
Yeah.
But also, no matter what, even if you are natural, whatever it is, what am I getting my fake nails on, lashes on here? What am I doing that for a coffee date? What?
Precisely, because the nails that you want cost more than my coffee and your coffee combined.
Come on, speak on it.
Like,
It's a
hell,
bill.
the lashes, the forget the lashes, the glue for the lashes cost more than this coffee you finna buy.
Like, be for real. What are we talking about? And that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
they think they're doing so much by spending a couple dollars they gotta spend on this coffee. Like, sir, go drink your coffee and be great.
And they don't even, this one dude I did, he did this one dude, I gave him a pass because it was a cultural thing kind of. He was like, oh, let's go on coffee. Let's go to a coffee day. I was like, I literally was like, I don't do coffee. I was like, baby, let me not do a video because baby, you ain't about to come for me like that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. But I mean, I turned down the coffee day and we actually went to a restaurant. So, I ain't had nothing to say. But he literally was like, oh, I don't drink coffee either. And I'm like, well, why are we going on a coffee date? What?
Right.
What are we doing? So So it's just like you want, and it's like no, like literally no, like that's my standard. Like I'm not going on a coffee date with you. My friends try to tell me like, oh, you know, coffee date is cute. You can try coffee. Girl, I don't want to try no grande, venti, venti. I do not want
No.
none of that. But I just think it's interesting too. So yeah, it was a cultural thing, but he didn't really have any pushback. But I was just like, you don't even like coffee. So like, what is this whole hype around this coffee date thing? I'm just like, it's just another thing that we have to argue about. Like, we're literally arguing about coffee dates, ice cream on social media about a date.
You know, it's red pill content. It's conservative red pill content. That's what I believe that it is. And I think we keep having this conversation because the men who support that type of ideology are not trying to date the women who also support that ideology. They want to argue with the
Mhm,
women like you and I and get the women like you and I to change our minds about coffee dates, or not just coffee dates, but dating and relationship ideologies in general, instead
mhm.
of focusing on the women who already subscribe to that, which is very interesting to me because all the women in the comments saying that they would like a coffee date are in other comments still talking about how they want to go on dates. So that means all the men who had something to say didn't hop in no DMs and didn't plan no dates.
You should have been like, hey, I'll take a coffee date to the dude that was talking about a coffee date. Meet up. And that's what I'm saying. Like, why are we arguing about we don't align? You like coffee? I don't. Find somebody that wants a coffee. Like you said, they want a date, but they're not getting the women because they know that the women that they want is not accepting the coffee date. And it's so interesting to me because then you see the girls on there that are like, I'm not going to go to Cheesecake Factory. Like, I need to be wine and dine. So it's like, where's that same
Oh,
energy?
I love me some Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, yeah. I just can't see the Cheesecake Factory. That's just my
Mm-hmm.
only hiccup. But it's just like, where are the women? Or why don't you get those women that want the coffee there? Like, but you're not in those
Mm-hmm.
same comments talking about it. Was I think it went viral like last year, like the Cheesecake Factory lady saying the
Mm-hmm.
cheesecake or whatever. So it's just like, what are we doing? So now we gotta go. So cheesecake, then it's coffee, then it's just like it's too many different things versus you just getting to know the person and asking them, hey, what do you like to eat?
Right. Because me, I'm an activity dates person over a food. I'm a picky eater. I've always been a picky eater. I don't like stressing people out trying to find a place that I'm willing to eat at. So I much prefer activity dates to begin with. I love to go do something fun. I'm one of those type of people where I like new experiences. I like sharing new experiences with other people. I
Mhm,
recently just saw a video where somebody was talking about how that's a love language. And I was like,
mhm,
ooh, that makes sense to me because I love having new experiences with people. And so I'm much more, let's go do an activity. Let's go do a thing. Like we don't have to sit down and like eat, you know? But
mhm.
that requires effort, that requires thought, that requires intention, that it requires you getting to know me a little bit to understand what it is that I like, which
And
goes back to that
don't
effort
do
and
it.
intention.
They don't do it. They don't do it. But watch you say that like I prefer an activity. Well, why does a man have to plan an activity that it's just like, okay, what do y'all want?
They're
Y'all
gonna
don't
keep moving the goalposts.
literally the goalpost keeps moving every time. Like it
Mhm.
makes no sense. What activities do you like or in general like what activity do you feel like would be a cool first date activity?
So it really depends on the person. I'm gonna be honest with you. A first day, I went to a Sam Smith concert as a first date once.
I
Um,
wanted to
it
go
was
to
very fun. It was set during and I had already saw Sam Smith when I went to London, and then I saw that they were in Canada, and I was like, "Ooh, let's do this." So that was fun. I've done sip and paints as dates; those are fun.
oh, really?
Um, I was recently going to go on a date, and at first it was going to be like a picnic or whatever. We were going to play board games, and then we canceled, and then some other stuff happened. But we were discussing going to like one of those rooms where you can smash stuff.
A
You
smash
know what I'm
room?
talking about?
Mhm.
I would do something like that. Um, what else have I done? I really like escape rooms. I like puzzles. I like escape rooms. I like games like that. Arcades. I would do something like that. I
Mhm.
really want to go on one of those like dinners around the city where you have like drinks at one place,
Mhm.
appetizers at one place. I also want to do like a scavenger hunt around the city where you go around the city like finding different things.
That's why the men is mad child. They can't afford you, honey.
I don't even think. Oh,
It's not.
those are expensive.
No, no, I don't
Now
think
I want to
it's
go to the
talking about
hot
the
air balloon festival. Now that's expensive.
yes. Well,
Because I want the flight to New Mexico. I want to
oh,
ride one of the hot air balloons, the hotel,
mhm.
the food. All of that would be expensive, but like I'm gonna do that with or without
Yeah.
a man. It would just be a lot better if there was one there with me. I also want to go to the one in Cappadocia over in Turkey.
Me
That would
too. Me too.
that's gonna be really expensive, and I've already been to Istanbul, so I
Yeah.
it's just gonna be a coin. It's gonna be a coin.
Well, that's what I was
Um,
saying. I was talking about the day options versus the coffee day, which is $3-4. That's what I was saying. Because you talking about you've been to London.
oh
Yeah,
no, yeah, they can.
yeah. I'm not saying your dates are expensive. I don't think they are, but that's why they don't want to do it because they want to go on a coffee date for $5. They don't value
You
experiences.
know, have at it.
Yes, that's cool. I want to go to Turkey too.
Well, I'll speak for Istanbul. It's a beautiful city. I can't wait to go back. Like my friend is gonna be moving there for a couple years, and so when she gets settled and everything, I'm on a flight.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's so cool. But that's what I was going to say when you were talking about that. I'm like, this is what that's what's wrong, or even I don't want to say. I mean, I guess I could just say men in general, but it's just like how we talk as single women. We talk about experience. Like I literally just went to Phoenix last month, and then I did a solo trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, I
Hmm.
share, but I don't share a little bit. But it's just like y'all don't do these things. Like not that I mean, not that they can't even afford it, but it's just like we do things. We do things by ourselves. We have our own experiences. We travel. And do you think I'm gonna sit there and waste my time at a coffee shop? I could be planning my next trip. Like
Listen,
it makes no sense. And so I'm just like, at one point, when is it going to like be better and like not have like all this red pill content that you were talking about? It's just like it's just so much. But then you do see women online. They be talking about how they be single mothers or like they be going back and forth with their baby daddy or different things like that are like driving 45 minutes for a first date.
I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong. I think context matters, right? So, like, you live in Louisville, right?
Mm-hmm.
I live in Lexington, so I would be willing to drive to Louisville for a date just because of the makeup of the dating scene here in Lexington. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I would only be doing that with somebody who was very intentional about the stuff that we're doing because when I get there, I expect to be doing the things.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? But if you live in a major city like Chicago, for example, or Houston, for example, or New York, for example, why are you traveling far for a date when it's a major city and people should be in your vicinity?
Yeah. Well, the context was this girl. She said that she did drive 45 minutes and it was the first day. I think she lived in Baltimore and they were in DC. So maybe she did do it. But she did say that he didn't call before and like she had to reach out to see if the day was still on. I also don't like that part. Like, I
Is
hate that.
this the one where he didn't make a reservation?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I was not 100% on her side, but I also feel
I
like
wasn't
people have
either.
different quirks. So I'm just not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna stick beside her because I want to be a girl's girl. But like, I wouldn't have reacted that way. But I can't judge somebody because I turned down coffee dates. So who the hell am I?
Well, no, I don't agree with her reaction either. Like, I don't agree with her action. I would have just did it. Would I've been upset? But also, I don't know because I don't require you to make a reservation. I don't require a reservation. I should have said it online, but I don't think I'm like I require you to make a reservation. Yes, it would have been nice, but you still have to wait around. But that's what I'm saying. Like for you to drive 45 minutes and then not to wait and then drive back and then do, huh? Like
Hmm.
you might as well wait it. But I think people were talking about like was he interested or was he not interested because she was like she had to reach out and call him to make sure the
Hmm.
plan was like good. So that's what I'm talking about. But I don't know Baltimore. I don't know where you can and I do know my friends do that. I just think for a first date it's a lot. I just feel like we could meet in the middle. I don't know where the middle between Baltimore and DC is, but like we need to both be driving 30 minutes. That's just how I
What
feel.
would be the middle between Louisville and Lexington?
Oh, there is a middle, but I don't because it's kind of like Eastern Kentucky, not Eastern Kentucky. Well, it is. It's kind of like going east. It's like it is like one city. I can't think of the name of it, but I actually looked at it one time. It's like 45 minutes now. It's a small town.
Frankfurt?
It's a little bit past Frankfurt, but yes, a little bit past Frankfurt.
Oh, I don't know that
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, I forgot what it is, but yeah, Frankfurt. I do know people. I've actually been in Frankfurt before, so I do know people in Frankfurt. That could be a little middle ground, but it was a different city. But I said, no, that's a little too small of a town because I was actually going to try to plan a date somebody from Cincinnati, so I was going to try to meet them like kind of in the middle of that area, but that didn't work out too well. So honestly, it
Okay.
turned out to me. So I don't know. That's just me. But this other girl drove 4 hours in like Texas for a first
Oh,
date. Yeah, and then she ended up
okay.
having to get a hotel and stuff like that. That was on TikTok too. It was a while ago or whatever, but
Oh,
yeah. So, but I'm
that's
like,
different.
yeah, I'm like, there are women out here that will drive and do all these things, but then it comes to be like, well, what do you get after you do all that?
Mm-hmm.
They literally got nothing. She had to pay for a hotel room. She had to drive back. He like basically kind of ghosted her, or something like that. Oh, it was on
Oh.
TikTok. Yeah, it was that he like ghosted her, or like didn't get ready, whatever. And then the other girl who drove the hour, she didn't go on a date. Now that was kind of her fault, I guess, because she didn't go on the date. But it's just like, what are we getting when we like overextend ourselves and the things? And even that, even if she does deserve a reservation, right? You drove
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes, and the man couldn't even put an effort to even make a reservation. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what are we getting out of going the extra mile as women in dating?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We get nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, driving 4 hours is
4 hours. And so I'm gonna give her a little bit of credit. She was saying how she was like off for the weekend or something like that. I think she might have planned to stay there with him for one night, and she didn't have a hotel room. And he's like, "Why don't you have a hotel room?" And I'm like, "I would have turned back around." But so then I think she got a hotel room, and then she was just like, "I spent Saturday downtown," and then I think this was in Texas. Texas cities be far away from each other, so um yeah, it was just like that. And so then, but it's just like I see all these stories on TikTok, and I'm just like, I just don't understand, like, where are the women that do all this stuff or whatever, and they're still being SOL. So it's just like, I don't know what this whole, I don't even know why dating is so hard. But
mm-hmm.
then recently we just seen the lady talking about the, what is it, club, it wasn't, is it called Culture Club or something like that?
The Crush Club singles
Dress
event.
code. Yes, and so we can talk about that because she was talking about how she was just like just being nice to a guy, and then he seen another woman, he was all in her face or something like that. Which I was like, okay, that's an experience, right? I didn't think she really said anything bad about it. She was just like, I look like your mom, which is like probably a black woman. And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, be nice. Like, we're the so much of this whole thing is like, well, if you're not attracted to somebody, if you're not, it's just like, you could be nice, you could be kind. Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
have to dudes that I'm not attracted to all the time, but I'm not sitting here being rude and doing that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
a different environment. But then for this other lady to come and talk about how it's attractiveness, like you're not cute because you're big and this and this and that stuff, you look, it's just like, why are we coming to that point? And what you're saying earlier about like people think that there's no response, that girl did respond to her, but it's just like, you're really coming online talking about another black woman saying how she's big so she's unattractive, like,
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah, that threw me, especially coming from the messenger. Because if we keeping it a buck, oh, girl's more attractive than she is, regardless to how big she is. That was not the messenger for that message, in my opinion. But also, like, I don't know if other women, every interaction that they have with the man, they expect it to be romantic. They expect it to be an intimate reaction. Sometimes it's a human to human, basic level interaction where, like, I'm treating you like a giving you basic human decency, and I expect you to also give me basic human decency. And I think because it's a man and a woman, most people automatically assume that it's unexpected to have a romantic connection or whatever. And I think that that is pick me thinking, but whatever. But like the idea that, like, even in a space where it's a singles event, you know everybody's not going to be there for you. You know everybody's not going to be like your cup of tea. But that doesn't mean if someone comes and talks to you, whether you are attracted to them or not, whether you want to talk to them or not, doesn't mean you can't be nice and act like you got some home training and some manners. And
Mhm.
to equate the fact that the reason why he didn't treat her like the other women or treated her poorly was because she was overweight is like, I get what they're saying, but like, how many times do bigger women have to get on this app to show y'all that they not only get dates, they get men just like the skinny women get men? And how many times do skinny women have to get on this app and complain about how they have 5 children under the age of like 5 and their husband is leaving them, or whatever the case may be? Like, women, all types of women are able to get men, and all types of women are able to get shitted on by men. And
Yeah.
this idea that we're only focusing on weight as a sign of a level of attractiveness feels like low bearing fruit, and it feels like it's a way for women who are not fat to punch down on fat women, even though they're not lookers themselves, if that
Like,
makes sense.
yes, because in the pick me culture, the lady's like, "Well, I'm not trying to be a pick me or whatever," but literally, you're coming on here, speaking up for a man who you don't even know. Again, like, y'all are speaking up for men that you don't even know. You don't even know if that man was cute. She never said that he was ugly, or like she never described him. We don't even know. She was just talking
Hmm.
about how she was a black woman in a different type of experience in a dating scene. Like you said earlier, like we don't know that man from Adam's Eve. Is he gonna come and pick you next? Like, are you his type? Probably not, because if he likes white women, he likes white women. And that's all it is about. And yeah, I think it's getting to a point where it's just like, oh, bigger women don't deserve love, or bigger women can't have it. It's just like, to your point, that girl, she has 5 kids under 7. And it's like, y'all are, the prettiness and attractiveness is really cute, but y'all be getting met. The girls, the skinnier girls, not in a bad way, but like, they be coming on here with the worst stories. They getting cheated on, going back and forth, baby. I'm having 3 kids. Y'all having kids. This lady literally said, I had a kid because my boyfriend wanted to have another seed. He ended up impregnating her 2 times. If that's not pick me up, if that's not something going on,
Hmm.
why are we having kids with people just because he wants to have a seed? And now
Hmm.
I think, well, they're not getting divorced. I think they broke up. And now he barely want to see his kid. Talking about he doing his legal obligations. Like,
Right. And I just made a video about this before we hopped on here, where I feel like black women are damned if they do, they're damned if they don't, right? If you stay home and never go out, it's your fault that you don't have a partner because you don't put yourself out there, right? Okay, you go out, but not to singles events because those events are not for you. Okay, well then I'm gonna go to a bar. Not to a bar because you're gonna look thirsty and desperate, so you can't do that either. Okay, I'm gonna get on the dating apps. The dating apps are not for black women either. Okay, well, I'm gonna go out and just sit there and not do anything. Well, if you look unapproachable, how is any man ever going to approach you? So it's like, well, damn, if I stay in my house, I'm wrong. When I leave my house, I'm wrong. No matter what I do, no matter what black women do, it seems like no matter how they try to date, no matter how they try to put themselves out there, hell, even saying no to coffee dates, they take to have higher standards. Because, if I got on here and was like, who the F did I marry, and ignore 5011 red flags, and got pregnant by somebody in less than 90 days of knowing them, everybody would be like, you should have higher self esteem. You should have known better. You shouldn't have ignored all those red flags. But when you do know better and you say no to coffee dates, you should just be grateful for anything that you get. So no matter what black women do, it's going to be wrong. And so therefore I think as on an individual level, black women just need to do what is best for them, what makes them happy, what makes them feel good. Because
mhm,
if you try to make everybody else happy, nobody is going to be happy,
mhm,
including you, because somebody somewhere is always going to have something to say. Because just listening to the commentary about this Crush Club singles event thing, about how black women should not be going to these singles events and how they're not for you, and you look desperate because you're going there to find a man, has literally exhausted me. Because, like, what are we even saying? What are we doing? And like, I also feel like we also tell men, don't talk to her in the gym. She's working out. Don't talk to her at her job. She's busy. Okay, well, where can I talk to them? Because ain't nobody really showing up to the club no more. Oh, a singles event. The dude may be a little socially awkward, may, have that barrier. Then they go to a singles event and they think, okay, well, everybody's supposed to be there for dating. So I don't really have the pressure of trying to figure out if I'm overstepping boundaries, but black women are allowed to go to their eat, and it's just like black women can't do nothing, can't do
okay.
nothing right. That's how I feel right now when it comes to dating. I'm
Yes,
exhausted.
At this point, my friend is. She's like, you just gotta date how you want to date and do it. Like even me, I'm like, I'm actually nervous. Like it's making me not even want to do dating content. I just do it for fun. Like I did a whole date miss last year, and it was just like dating of whatever, like my dating experience or something like that. Like I was like, I just want to do it for fun, but it's just like you can't even do stuff for fun because people have this to say, that to say, this to say. But I don't really see anybody talking to black men about dating. So when you just said that, that was surprising to me. About don't talk to her at work, don't talk to her here, whatever. I'm like, who was talking to the black man? Who was telling the black men plan dates? Who was telling the black men to ask her out? Like, who's telling the black men to show effort? It's just like all this content is pandering to women. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that is also doing us a disservice too, because you hear Risa Tisa Child, you that story. Then you hear Sprinkle Sprinkle, then you did this or whatever. And so it's just like my
Mm-hmm.
friend, she'll laugh at me. She's like, "Oh, you don't do this or you don't do that," and I'm like, "No, I don't do that. Don't. I'm not doing all that to get no man. That's just me, right?" But then you see somebody
Mm-hmm.
else, they will do a lot to get a man. They'll extend themselves. I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that." And so it's just like you don't even know. It's like who do we listen to? Then now they got Coach like Anwar. Now I'm not saying nothing about Coach at Anwar, but he talks about stuff too or whatever. And so it's just like why do we keep preaching to black women about dating instead of focusing on the people who are supposed to put the effort in, supposed to, connect with us or like show effort, show interest in us to even pick us up. And we even see this in reality TV as well. We see Love is Blind happening right now. I want to say too much about Love Island because it's not really dating, but even if you watched what's the show called? Will Packer, Ready to Love. Like you see it all the time. Like it's just like, what is dating now?
Mm-hmm.
All the dating shows. It's kind of just like, where are we at? And it's like, then you say like, okay, I'm gonna stop dating. And then they're like, well, don't stop. It's like, child. It's like you said, it's exhausting
Mm-hmm.
dating
Yeah,
now.
I would say the men who would have something to offer, they get called simps. And men disregard them. But I was talking about in general, men are told it's creepy to approach women at the gym. It's creepy to approach women at their jobs. It's creepy to approach women when they're busy at the grocery store. It's creepy to approach women on public transportation. In general, those are the messages that men are getting. So if you're already socially awkward, you may be shy, you're probably going to heed that advice if you're a man and probably not approach women. So if you are one of those men and you're like, okay, I don't really know if I can approach them. And I only say this because I know a gentleman in my real life, the epitome of like socially awkward, like my God. A singles event would be an event that he goes to because he knows he would not be overstepping boundaries because he knows the women are there for the intention of dating. But he won't really approach them like elsewhere unless somebody else tells him go
Too.
approach them. And even then he gonna mess it up.
You got some single friends in Lexington. What the men look like, Lexington child?
He's not in Lexington.
Well, I wasn't even talking about him. I was just talking about in general. I was talking about in Lexington, though. I don't know how the dating scene is in Lexington with the men. That's what I'm
It's not. Um,
saying.
I got really fortunate here when I first moved here. I met someone a couple months after moving here, and so him and I were pretty much locked in. Um, and then we went our separate ways. We went our separate ways. Um,
Okay.
but it's been pretty much him and I since I got here in 2020, and
Mhm.
so this is really almost kind of like the real first time that I'm back into the dating scene.
Oh,
And I'm in this mindset of I want to leave. So I've always had like one foot in, one foot out anyway. So I
mhm.
haven't really been taking it serious. But there's not enough variety for my liking. I also don't date men with children.
Period.
And so that is difficult to find somebody who it's not really difficult to find somebody who doesn't have children. It's difficult to find somebody who doesn't have children and then doesn't want them.
Oh, you don't want
And there's
kids.
lots of men here who are like on their second marriage and like have been divorced,
Hmm.
um, starting over, probably working on their second wife, or they were in long-term relationships breaking up. But a lot of the men, I've noticed a lot of the men in Kentucky in general, because I've changed my location to Louisville, they have children. A
They
lot of
do, and then they be lying on them apps because I was talking to somebody. I'm like, when did you say you had kids? Like, it was not you. You're lying. Like, I be over it. I don't want to date nobody with kids either, and they'll shame you about that too. I'm like, I don't have kids. I don't want to be every other weekend, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Like,
listen.
I don't want to do that. But do
Ain't nobody. There's a few things in life. Ain't nobody ever in life gonna shame me for not dating a man with children.
that. Do you
It,
feel like it's do you feel like it's
I'm not even gonna shed a tear. I'm gonna sleep like a baby every single night.
okay, good enough. This one guy, I was really surprised. I had one guy that actually talked to me at the gym. He like came up to me and he was like looking at me. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, he was literally like looking at me at the gym the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh, like, sir, like, I wasn't like, let me work out, but I was just like, what are you doing? So then towards the end, he was like, oh, like, he tried to like ask me for my number or whatever. I was like, this is so crazy. Like, are you here? I don't know. I don't know if it's weird or not, but then I always think about like, well, dang, if you start talking to this person, like, they're gonna be at that same gym that you
Hmm.
go to. That's the only thing I think about when I think about gyms or like work kind of, but not really. It just depends on where you work at. So I don't really know.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's so interesting. But yeah, the scene out here, I would say in Louisville, they do dudes do like to go on dates, but child, they do be having kids out here too, though. So I'm just like, and I also want to move out of Louisville too. So that's why another thing is I thought you were gonna say maybe in Lexington, like they'd be ready to settle down. Cause I was like, that could be a Kentucky thing too. Like people just ready to settle down.
Yeah, I think that is a. I consider Lexington a small town,
Mhm.
or I'll give it to the people who live here. It's a large town, whatever. It's a town nonetheless.
Ah,
And they be trying to convince me it's a city. I'm like,
pretty.
this is a small town, and instead of having a coal mine, it is a university, but it functions the same way. Anyway, um, in general, I think that this is a much more family values, more conservative,
It is.
more let's get married at 21 and have babies by 23 and then divorced by 37 and remarried by 42. Hmm.
Are you from a bigger city?
Yeah, so right now I'm thinking Chicago because I've always had a love affair with Chicago since like 2017. I wanted to move there, but life keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Phoenix twice this summer. I have a bunch of family there, so I was thinking there because it's like 5 hours away from my mom. But then within the city of Phoenix, I have 50, 11 cousins there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just to be closer to family. And I'm not gonna lie, I like the weather over there. And I just recently added Houston, and that might replace Phoenix. So
Mm.
it'll be Chicago, Phoenix, Houston, one of those three.
Oh, oh, okay. Oh, I was saying, were you from a big town? I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
I'm from California.
Big
Sorry.
city. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was like, you from a big city because you were saying Lexington is like a small town, so that's what I was saying. Well, I knew you was from California, but I didn't know if you was from a big city in Cali or whatever. But that's what I
Yeah,
was.
I'm like in the suburbs of LA.
Oh, okay, okay. Because you're like, I'm
And
like, Lexington is pretty big, but it
yeah,
depends on where you're coming from.
yeah.
California
And
is
then I
huge.
went to college in the Bay Area.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm used to bigger cities. Yeah.
That makes sense. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. I heard that it's really horrible today in LA than big cities or whatever, but I don't know about Chicago.
We ain't gonna talk about
Houston.
LA. The fat phobia ain't even the problem. Like it could be it could be the baddest woman you've ever seen. If she cannot pass the brown paper bag test,
In
she
LA.
ain't getting no play. She ain't getting no play if she
Mhm.
can't pass the brown paper bag test. And she could be the most beautiful woman you've ever seen in your life. The colorism is rampant.
In LA.
Rampant. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so sad because actually I really want to move to LA, but I always think about that. And I just like, I don't know if I'm gonna thrive in LA, but I really want to move there. Just like the weather is nice. It's
Mm-hmm.
beaches and stuff like that. And I do ride a little bit too. So, I thought about like screenwriting and stuff like
Mm.
and yeah, like I write books. I'm actually writing a book too. So I like to write. And so I was thinking about Chicago, but Chicago's very, very cold. But I want to do LA. But I'm just like, I also value my quality of life. So Louisville, kind of is on the affordable side. I
Mm-hmm.
lived in Atlanta. I didn't really like it. But I was like, I want to go to LA, but I just be hearing so many stories about like color. Well, not really colorism. I hear just about like people being superficial, and then you just know that's real. And so I'm just like, it's keeping me from like not wanting to move there as much. And now that you
Where are
found
you originally from?
Well, I'm in the actually I'm from Iowa. Like my dad was in the military, so I moved around a lot. So I grew up in
Okay.
Iowa, then I moved to Kentucky. So I was raised, and then I went to University of Louisville. So that's kind of how I got here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then during pandemic, I moved to Atlanta. It was too expensive. They didn't pay that much, and it's a minimum wage is horrible down there. And so what they pay is horrible, and it's very expensive to live there. But I took like
Mhm.
writing classes and stuff like that too. But I was just like, I'm over Atlanta. I don't even know why. I was like, I was over. It was too expensive for me. And so then they're like, "What do you want me to LA?" But I'm like, I feel like Atlanta gave nothing for me to want to stay there. Versus like LA, I feel like there's beaches there, but you can also go to San Diego. You can also you can go to different cities. And Atlanta is just Atlanta. There's nowhere to drive around.
Right.
There's nothing that I'm like feel like I'm paying for, right? And
Mhm.
like I lived here, like you can go to Chicago, you can go to St. Louis, you can go to Nashville, and I've done all that. So I'm like, I just feel like I was also born on the West Coast, so I just feel like I want to go to the West Coast for a little bit and just like live
I
there.
support it.
Yeah, but but I don't know where to move over there because it's so expensive, and I don't want to deal with colorism, racism. Like, but I don't want to really deal with all that. So that's kind of what keeps me not wanting to move to LA, to be honest. And so I'm just trying to navigate that because I'm just like, where else would I move to? So
Have you considered like somewhere in Texas or
that
like
I'm
in Las
considering
Vegas?
Austin. I thought about Las Vegas because my friend he actually lives out there, and there's like media. I like music festivals. I like doing stuff like that. So I was like, Vegas has like music festivals. I heard media, but I already know it's hot out there. I haven't officially like stayed in Vegas, so I wanted to visit Vegas before I actually went there. And then I'm thinking about Austin. Dallas is too hot. I have my own reason why Dallas is too hot, or Texas in general. Houston is too overwhelming. It's like it's party is so expensive. Child. $40 to park to go to a party a 3 hour wait. I did go Memorial Day, so I will say that. But Austin, I feel like Austin kind of reminds me a little bit of Louisville. It's like a bigger
Hmm.
city. But they have like colleges there. You can like go around, you could park, you could I was like partying on 6th Street, and it was like you could like bar hop and stuff like that. So it was kind of chill.
Hmm.
But also school was out, so it wasn't that much traffic because I went there Memorial Day
Mm.
too. So I thought about Austin. And yeah, it's just hot in Texas. I also thought about Raleigh, but then I was like, maybe not North Carolina because
Mm.
maybe not. So
I thought about that too. But it's really if I'm gonna stay on this side of the country, I'm going to Chicago. There's no if, ands, or buts about that. And if I go back west, I'm really stuck between wanting to be closer to family and moving to Chicago and like get it out of my system. In my brain, I'm gonna be able to afford to live in Chicago for the summer and the fall and then live on the West Coast for the winter and the spring. In my brain, that's what's going to happen. How the hell I'm gonna make that happen? Couldn't tell you.
oh, yeah, I also thought about New York too, just because of like what I do. But I was like expensive. But I was actually thinking of like Louisville coming here maybe for a little bit and being bi-coastal. Like I live in LA for a little bit, like in the summertime or whatever, or the wintertime, and then coming here in Kentucky for like summers or like different times to just like offset the prices. Then I also thought about New York and then LA to kind of like do like the hot and the cold. But actually I'm really trying to be by whatever no, I'm trying to be tri countries, whatever. I can't think of it, tri-continental. Because baby,
Uh-huh.
I want to live in South America. I might need to live in London a little bit or like Bali and then come back to the United States like
Have you
some
ever been to London?
I haven't. I want to go so bad. I've been to Paris and I met somebody in London and I have not gone yet. I'm really trying to go next year. So fingers crossed.
Listen, I need to redo London because that was my first time solo traveling and I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know how to plan a trip yet. And so I left feeling very underwhelmed by London. Like, what is this? But I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I was so bored in London, I left and went to Amsterdam.
What? I've been to
Yeah.
Amsterdam though. Did you go to the red
Huh?
light district? I've been.
Huh?
I went to Amsterdam. Did you go to the red light district?
I did.
Or the
I walked around. I went to the museum where they talked about like the different stuff. And I didn't realize cafes and like coffee shops are like two different things,
Mhm.
but it was very informative to see. I really like the architecture.
Mm,
there. I like the canal. It was a
mm.
cute little place. I would like to go. I would go like all the places I went to in my beginning journey of like solo traveling. Now that I know what I'm doing, I need to go back.
You go back, yeah. Okay, we got some comments. Says, "Hey, girl, keep up the dialogues in chats. My favorite coffee shop drink, chai tea latte. See, it's too much, baby. I'm not sure my opinion on a coffee date. If I were dating, it would depend. Oh, I am from North Carolina, live in Raleigh. Not the best market for single black women. I think it helps for low stakes. Yeah, and I feel like Raleigh's like a family city, and I don't got no family right now. So I'm trying to be where the single people are out so I can go out, have fun. Oh, coffee dates help for low stakes. Yeah, I don't like low stakes. I need high stakes. That's the issue. Coffee dates is low. I want to be bicontinental too. I want a place in Singapore or Japan.
Ooh,
That's
fancy.
money. Okay, Singapore or
Love that.
Japan. Have you ever been to Japan?
I have not. Japan isn't very high on my list of places
Oh,
to go.
okay. I like Europe, but I'm really interested more in a high tech country. Yeah, I was gonna say Japan is very high tech. They said they're living in 20.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have been to Tokyo's airport when I was younger, so I remember it a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. I'm not too pressed to go to Japan, but I think it'll be a cool, like I wouldn't turn it down if somebody's like, "Oh, let's go to Japan." But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, like I want to go to like Bali. I want to go to Thailand. I want to go to London. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Turkey, like Turkey. I want to go there, and I want to go to South America too. So it's just like that. And also, I'm like, I want to live abroad. I think that would
Mm-hmm.
be really cool. So I'm not stuck on United States, but LA would kind of be my top. And I was going through it like, do I want to move to LA, Chicago? Oh, I also like Miami, but I heard Miami's really expensive too.
I'm not interested in Miami.
Oh, I love Miami. I feel like it could be bougie or it could be affordable. Because I went one time, it was kind of expensive. The next time, it was kind of chill. Like I don't know. I just walked around bar hop, but went to the beach, then went shopping. So I just feel like I don't know. But I do. Speaking about dating with all this, my friend, we were talking about it. It's like knowing where to date at. Like in DC, you might have better luck than like in New York or even LA or whatever. Because it's like trying to find people who are like in your tax bracket or dating creatives might look different than like dating successful men. You know. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I think about that too as well when it comes to moving. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you think about that, or are you just like I'm gonna move wherever?
Um, I think within the circles I run in, the caliber of men I want to date, I will find, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so really where I moved to is based off of me. Like I I didn't take any of that into consideration.
Okay. I think about it just a little bit. She said nice. I think about it just a little bit when my friends were talking because my friend actually she used to live in Baltimore. We were talking about Baltimore earlier, and we were just talking about it. And then I forgot where else she lived, or like going to New York. And so we were just talking about like the dating scene and like how it is and compared to like people, and
Hmm.
that's another thing too. When dudes have money versus when they don't have money, that takes
Right.
the experience of the dating scene and dating culture too. So yes, so that's
Hmm.
all. Is there anything else as we wrap up? I know we've been on here for a little bit, but I had to shout
No,
out
this has been great. You know,
for coming.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think.
Anything else? Sabria, what do you think? Well, Sabria's actually married, and shout out to her. She's married, so she's not in the dating streets no more.
Listen, I love that for her. No,
Yeah.
this has been a great conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate the questions that you asked. There are new questions that I haven't been asked before, so I appreciate that.
Yes,
And this was fun.
yes, thank you so much. I try to, ask different questions than the people do. But yeah,
Mhm.
thanks so much for responding back to me
You're
and
welcome.
having this conversation because I think like the whole series I have is just like I just be seeing so much on social media and it's just like, well, let's talk about the Black girl experiences and just kind of like what's going on. And so my podcast is called Black Girls Den. So I was just like, let me have
Hmm.
a series because a lot of my stuff is pre-recorded. So I'm just like, let's
Hmm.
go live,
Hmm.
let's talk about, let's have conversations and like really center Black women's voices. That's where the whole thing is about. And I feel like dating is a huge, huge thing as we have covered in this whole topic. It's
Hmm.
so huge and it's so like different personalities, different perspectives, and things like that. So I was glad to have somebody on that relates to me, because baby, we're not doing no coffee days, and that's point blank.
Listen, period.
It's
Also,
like,
I be seeing the little get-togethers you be having with your
oh,
friends,
yeah, okay.
and should there ever is room for one more, I would love to drive the hour and some change for you, but
Yes.
pull up.
Well, yes, let me know. I'm actually about to move though. I would definitely do another one, but yeah, I didn't know where you were at, but now I know that you're in Lexington.
Mhm.
I might have something next year. We'll see, but I have to let you know because I'm moving, and that's a whole another process. But yes, I do. I like to
Okay.
bring people together to have fun.
Mhm.
I think that's too, and I also. To that point, I want to show that like you can still have fun even though you're not married or if you're single or something like that. I feel like so many people
Mhm.
get caught up in that they have to have this romantic relationship. Like they don't think about platonic relationships. And it's just like, no, if you're out here, like I want to create something that you can have fun. Like I did a Black Girls
Mhm.
Dinner. People came out, and I just feel like sometimes it does get lonely and so much going on that people really forget platonic friendships. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
those are
Mhm.
important too. Like pour into your friendships like you would pour into like a relationship. And so
Period. I have been saying this since 2016, that I'm putting the same effort into my family relationships, into my friendships, into my other platonic relationships, to my work relationships as I put into a romantic relationship. And the moment I started doing that, my life became a lot more full. It became a lot more whole. And I don't feel empty without a man. I don't feel lonely without a man. And at this point, any man that comes into my life is not going to be filling a void. They're going to be enhancing what I've already created.
yes. And so that's what I'm like. I'm trying to show people. It's just like, I be going out on Wednesdays. So they're like, why are we going out? I'm like, you don't know. And I know everybody doesn't want to be married and have kids, right? But I know one day that I probably will. And it's just like, but I'm not going to wait to do that. Like, if I want to create experiences, I'm going to do it with my friends. And so my friends are like, when you have kids, we already know that you're going to be doing everything at your house or whatever. And so I'm just like, yeah, like literally like romanticizing your life, having fun, pour into your friendships, and I feel like they don't do it as much. And so it's like solo living can be boring, but it can be fun. And that's why I also grew up with my parents hosting things. But I'm like, I
Mhm.
like to have fun. I like to do things. And so I feel like I didn't get that in Atlanta because I didn't know that many people. So when I moved back here and I had friends here because like, I went to college here, I was like, let me just host something. Like it's a small spot, but come have fun. We eat, we laugh, and we create memories. And so that's
Mhm.
kind of, what I do. So I will definitely be thinking about you when I plan my next one. Okay. So I
Okay.
got you.
All right. Well,
um,
thank you. This has been great. It's been
tell them
nice
where,
chatting with you.
tell them where they can follow you at.
Oh, they can find me at Ashley with an I everywhere. It's Ashley with an I, like a letter I, or it's I spelled out EYE. So ASHLEIWITHANI or EYE.
Yes. All right, y'all go check her out. Go look at her stuff if you haven't seen it. And if you have, just engage with her content. And thank y'all so much for joining. If you're watching replay, make sure you let us know. And this has been another episode of What You Have Seen on the Feed. And I will see you all again on Friday. All right, stay tuned. And thank y'all so much. Have a great rest of your night. Bye. Thanks.